Moving on to an NDTV impact with our relentless tracking of the Kanpur Lamborghini case 4 days after the incident, the culprit Shivam Mishra has finally been arrested from Kanpur. Son of a Kanpur-based tycoon, Mishra has been produced before court in connection with the accident that left several injured. Remember that the arrest comes shortly after the episode where a driver came forth and confessed suddenly as the person behind the wheel. Identified as Mohan, that the driver said the accused Shivam suffered a seizure with his arms and legs shaking and fell onto the driver, causing the crash. However, the court seemed not to be convinced with the theory and rejected the driver's surrender plea, questioning how the driver, who was not even mentioned in the case, had now managed to come forth. In fact, what contradicted the driver's claims were the crash videos themselves, which we've brought to you over the last 4 days, relentlessly trying to prove here that it was Shivam Mishra behind the wheel and not the driver, Mohan. In fact, there's a video also where you see the bouncers pulling Mishra out of the driver's seat. Enough evidence to have arrested Shivam Mishra much earlier. Remember, no other person was visible in these videos. With the arrest of the tycoon's son, the law may have finally caught up, but questions with regards to procedural delay, of course, still remain. Ranveer joins me live. Ranveer, finally the arrest that we've all been expecting, waiting for, but a huge delay of more than 94 hours. A lot of questions that must be put to the Kanpur police as of now. Just take us through the latest in terms of the investigations.
Everyone saw who was sitting on the driver's seat, Shivam Mishra, the man who was driving the car. Everyone saw the footage. The bouncers were pulling Mishra out of the car. Everyone saw the footage. They pulled him out and they have taken him to hospital. But obviously the questions will be on Kanpur police that why the medical examination was not done on time, because the incidents occurred on Sunday around 2:15 p.m. So after Sunday's incidents, today is Thursday, and today Shivam Mishra is officially arrested by Kanpur police. But why the medical examination was not done? This is obviously a big question. Shivam Mishra is in Kanpur court now, along with a huge security arrangement there, and everyone is waiting for court to decide whether he will be sent to police custody. As per sources, Kanpur police is seeking 14 days police remand for Shivam Mishra, but it's up to the court whether court will give his police custody or accept his bail. So a big question whether Shivam Mishra will be bailed out or he will be in police custody for investigation or interrogation. So Kanpur police will now interrogate Shivam Mishra as well as Mohan, who claims to be driving the car on the day of accident.
Thanks for joining me there, Ranveer. We also have Mr. Vikram Singh, former IPS officer, joining me live. So I'm going to come to you in 2 minutes from now, and thank you for joining me here on Breaking Ground. I just want to take our viewers through the reactions coming in on this big development that took place this morning.
देखिए, आज सूचना प्राप्त हुई थी कि वो कानपुर आया हुआ है। उस सूचना के आधार पर हमारी टीमें सक्रिय हुई, उसको गिरफ्तार कर लिया गया और गिरफ्तार करके माननीय न्यायालय में प्रस्तुत किया गया है। बाकी आगे की कार्यवाही माननीय न्यायालय के निर्देश के क्रम में की जाएगी।
कितनी टीमें से लगाई गई?
5 टीमें गठित की गई थी। वो टीमें लगातार लगी हुई थी और समग्र प्रयास करके आज गिरफ्तार किया गया।
उसने कुछ बताया कि गाड़ी कौन चला रहा था, कैसे क्या है?
देखिए, पुलिस की विवेचना में पूरी तरह से साफ हो गया है कि एक्सीडेंट के वक्त गाड़ी शिवम मिश्रा ही चला रहा था। इसके लिए तकनीकी और चक्षुदर्शी साक्ष्यों के साक्ष्य अंकित किए जा चुके हैं। पर्याप्त साक्ष्य है, माननीय न्यायालय के समक्ष प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा। आगे का विषय माननीय न्यायालय।
आगे क्या कुछ कार्रवाई करेंगे इस पर?
जैसा मैंने बताया कि माननीय न्यायालय में प्रस्तुत किया गया है, माननीय न्यायालय के निर्देश के क्रम में अग्रिम कार्रवाई।
This is the power of social media, and that so-called fake accused application was rejected by the court. So administration had no option but to arrest him. Otherwise, government had put all efforts to save him.
So they are saying that because of the legal reasons, it was Shivam Mishra who was not arrested. There is complete law and order control in the state, and now finally being arrested.
What is the legal reason? Everybody was saying he is the accused, and then made an FIR in name of unknown. What was their compulsion? Who instructed them? This also should be investigated.
Justice is delayed because of the FIR delay, and you are saying
certainly. See, if it was not a social media, and top of that, if court had not rejected, that wanted everything.
There's some questions we want to put to the Kanpur police before we go to Mr. Singh, who's standing by. And these are questions that they must answer at this point. 5 top questions for the Kanpur police. Why was Shivam Mishra's name missing in the initial FR that was registered? Number 2, why was no medical test conducted on Shivam after the crash? Number 3, why was Shivam Mishra allowed to leave Kanpur for Delhi? Number 4, why wasn't Shivam Mishra arrested while he was in Delhi? It was quite a circus of a scene really, because the police also didn't seem to know where he was. The father comes before the cameras and says he's in Delhi. He moved from Kanpur to Delhi. He's being treated for his medical issues there. Number 5, why didn't the police object to the driver being made a scapegoat? It took the court to intervene and deny the surrender made by the driver, Mohan. I'm going to go...
And a positive investigation. Unfortunately, to all the 5 questions, the answer is in red, that there are no satisfactory answers to all your 5 questions, incisive ones of that. There was no justification to remove and not to see his name in the name as a named accused. It was added later. Then allowing him and not taking the medical test, the urine samples, the breath analyzer test was by way a horrible and a terrible fault line in investigation. And I don't think there would be any way in which that can be compensated. Now, wonder of wonders, how can an accused of this magnitude go to Delhi for medical checkups? Kanpur has a regular and a full-fledged medical college, super specialty hospitals, and wonder of wonders, you have somebody claiming, as in the Zamindari days, that the person who has, I'm responsible for this murder, I'm responsible for this accident. You have Mohan, who is para-dropped onto the driver's seat against all videographic evidence and eyewitnesses. And therefore, the police officer, the DCP said, अब हमने चक्षुदर्शियों के बयान के आधार पर कार्रवाई कर ली, जो माननीय न्यायालय कहेगा, माननीय न्यायालय तो जो कहेगा तो कहेगा, आपसे कुछ अपेक्षाएं की जाती थी और उस पे आप बिल्कुल खरे नहीं उतरे हैं. You have absolutely disappointed all of us, and I would expect a very proactive effort. I compliment the police commissioner, Revuelto Lal, and also those and the honorable court also who have said there's no reason why Mohan should be charge sheeted, because you have seen this in the case of the Porsche Pune case, the Salman Khan case, and other such high-end cases where there were volunteers, willing volunteers to be willing accessories to the crime. I would say, and am I? Yes, please.
If I could just intervene and ask you this, isn't this the classic case of everything in the VVIP Brat playbook failing? Every possible attempt to shield Shivam Mishra was made, but finally, because the court rejected the surrender of the driver, perhaps that was the catalyst in bringing him back from Delhi to Kanpur?
Precisely, you hit the nail on the head. The brazen, audacious, and the naked attempt to save Shivam Mishra because of the father and his deep pockets. Well, it is an administrative collapse and failure both, and a tragedy of investigation. And the very fact that the court rejected the alibi and the volunteering confession of Mohan, therefore he had no option but to come. And my advice would be to include all those who wanted Mohan to be made an accused as a willing accessory to 201 of the old IPC and 238 of the Bharati Nyaya Sanhita, because they tried to tamper with the evidence and compromise the investigation.
Saying 2 very quick questions. 1, shouldn't action be taken against the cops involved in this investigation to make an example of what we've seen in the last 96 hours play out ever since Sunday, ever since the incident took place? Secondly, because the medical examination has not been conducted, the eyewitness accounts claim that Shivam was inebriated. Is that going to be a setback in terms of the probe against him?
It is bound to be a setback in any case, because the delay in the examination of the breath analyzer and the urine test is going to be a major impediment in the quality of the investigation. And to your first question, I would say you have to be cruel to be kind. All the police officers who were complicit in making Shivam's escape possible and not barging into the house of KK Mishra, was it Fort Knox? Was it anything that was impenetrable? I would have expected a lot more from the Kanpur police. They should have barged straight in rather than being helpless and mute spectators lying supine before the mighty gates of KK Mishra's mansion. I had expected a lot more. Therefore, all of them should be placed under suspension.
Blunt as always. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for joining us here on Breaking Ground. Always an honor to have this conversation with you.